Today is Thursday, April 13th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Life. Happy Thursday. So yesterday, I talked about how the governor appointed someone else to be the Secretary of Education, someone other than Ryan Walters. And I talked about how Dr. Curry has an education background, but that there was something else in her background that we needed to be aware of. Dr. Curry lists herself as an edupreneur, which means that they have a business that has something to do with education. And what her business is she teaches you how to start your own private school, mostly religious private school, for less than $1,000. That's her stock and trade. That's the thing that she chooses to do, that she chose to start a business doing. And I concluded, without having a conversation with Dr. Curry or the governor, that this fits right in line with who the governor is showing us that he is. He wants vouchers. He wants private schools. And so he's going to put someone in that position that is private school focused, who's voucher focused. And no, I've not had a conversation with either of them, but I kind of stand in my conviction, because you got to believe a man's actions over his words all day long, which brings me to what I wanted to talk about today. Our current governor does a lot of talking, and he pays someone to help do a lot of his talking. But what I want us to concentrate on and focus on is what his actions are. What else behind the headlines should we be paying attention to? Several times in the last 12 months, our governor has gone into the press talking about, got a big secret. There's a company that's moving here, but I have to keep it hush hush. And those have not come to fruition. They've not come to fruition. But he got the headline about the company coming here. And when the company doesn't come here, it just kind of goes away and we no longer talk about it. We need to talk about it. And so over in the Senate, they put together a committee to talk about why no companies want to come to Oklahoma. We know why companies don't want to come to Oklahoma. We are not culturally competent in Oklahoma. We keep passing bills that, are against bodily autonomy and education and, reproductive rights and LGBT folks. And companies who want to move here will most likely have employees. And if you get a bunch of people together, there's going to be some diversity there. And if there's any diversity, folks who value diversity, folks aren't going to want to come here. We don't need a big committee to do that. I respect people who get elected to office. And so I'm not saying that we don't need them, but we don't need a committee. We know why they're not coming. So we got the headlines, though, to say that we had a committee that was looking at it. We didn't need a committee. Last year, the governor made all of this hay about, we're going to demand an audit of Epic charter schools. There was an audit. And when results came out, the governor and his team worked to keep the results from getting public, because it didn't make our current administration look good. Then he demanded an audit on Swadley's. Same thing. He demanded the audit. He got the headlines for demanding the audit and didn't deal with the fallout. He demanded an audit on Class Wallet, that deal purchase things that would help them get their kids through school during the pandemic, and people were buying lawnmowers and Christmas trees. He demanded an audit, and he sued somebody that had nothing, that wasn't the right person to sue, or right agency to sue. He got the headlines for demanding the audit. Most recently, there's been a demand for an audit of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. Behind the headlines, what we have to know is they're halting all work on all turnpikes. So if you currently travel by a turnpike and there's that one pesky little place that has construction out the wazoo, get comfortable. It's going to be there. That's what's behind that headline. Audit of the OTA, no work done on our turnpikes. That's what's behind that headline. We have to be careful and listen for the whole story. We currently have an administration who isn't focused on telling us the truth and being transparent. They're focused on trying to trick us or trying to craft a reality that they want us to believe we live in. But we all live in the real reality, right? We live in a state that is not hospitable. I've said it before and I'm going to keep saying it. We live in a state that is not hospitable if you're LGBTQIA2S+. We live in a state that is not hospitable if you find yourself with an unwanted or unsafe pregnancy. We live in a state that is unhospitable if you don't want your kids at schools with multiple adults carrying guns. We live in a state inhospitable to just anybody who isn't exactly like our governor. That's where we live. And that's why companies aren't trying to come here, because there are more types of people in our state. There are more types of people who need to have a place in our state. Several people, we are in the middle of reorganization in the Oklahoma Democratic Party. And so my communications with people all over the state are ramped up, obviously. Several people have been calling me over the last couple of weeks and asking me, why do I still do this? Why? Am I crazy? And my answer hasn't changed from when I ran the first time. I am the chair of the Oklahoma Democratic Party and running to remain the chair of the Oklahoma Democratic Party because I am a Democrat in Oklahoma and I want it to matter. I'm going to stay a Democrat in Oklahoma and I want it to matter. And so I'm asking you to join me, whether you're going to vote for me or not, and making it matter. Join me. Be involved. Help me register voters. Help me recruit candidates and support those candidates once they decide to run. That's why I'm here. We've got to change who represents us at the Capitol. We need to add some more balance. As long as one party has complete and total rule, we're going to keep getting what we're getting right now. We need some balance. They need to be concerned that there are enough Democrats in the House and the Senate and holding cabinet that they can't just pick a culture war and run roughshod. And the way to do that is for us to run more Democrats and support them and win. So this weekend, there are more county party elections. If you live in one of those counties who's having a convention, you don't have to be a precinct officer to participate. And you don't have to take a position to be involved. Join your county's convention, see what they're working on, and see what part of that you can help, you can be a part of, or just come and learn, because they're getting more headlines than we're getting. But there's a lot of work that needs to happen. So thank you so very much for humoring me and joining me every day at 4:15, where I try and update those who are listening on what's going on in Oklahoma politics. And I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15. You guys have a great evening.